Hi guys, my name is Tracy Panase and I organize the Just Between Friends sales in Reading, Oaks, Lancaster, and Warminster. And I'd like to thank you so much for being a part of the Just Between Friends team. I'm going to give you a few tips so that we can make this experience as pleasant as possible for you. First of all, every team member is given a shirt and we distribute those shirts at team member check-in. When you arrive for your shift, it's a good idea that you have on comfortable shoes and comfortable clothing. You will then come to the team member check-in and we will have a waiver that we're going to ask you to sign and then also a name tag. Once you're checked in, we will introduce you to your team leader and we will get to work. After you check in, we'll determine whether or not we need the most help in clothing or shoes. We'll start with clothing. If you are assigned to clothing, you will be given a few tools. Number one is a roll of landscape tape, which you can put around your neck, and then you will be also given a rack like this, and I'll explain what each of these areas are for. The other thing is a clipboard, which will indicate why we're pulling a particular item. This is new, so if you have done clothing inspection before, you want to look at this because these are the 4 reasons why we reject items. Number one is excessive wear. The item is overly worn or overly loved, as we like to say. It could be out of season. For the fall sale, we're looking for items that children typically wear between the months of September and April. The third area is stains, and then the fourth area is misuse of a tagging gun. A tagging gun can cause holes. Safety pins do not, and so I'm going to show you specifically what to be looking for each of these 4 areas. You will also see in the boys and girls section posters, and the posters indicate specifically what we are looking for the fall season. So it comes down to the fabrics. It's heavier weights of fabric, so things like fleece or heavier cotton, denim. Those are things that your kiddo is going to wear between the months of September and April. We also are particular about sleeve length. So short sleeve items that are under 24 months and our layering pieces are okay, as well as size 10 and up for bigger children. But beyond that, there is a little bit of gray area when it comes to short sleeves. And so please be sure to consult the posters or your team leader if you're not sure about seasonality. Once you have your rack, you're going to go to a section of clothing. If the section has pink tape, this means that these items have already been checked. So you can just move on and look for hangers that are not marked off with pink tape. Then you're going to take a look at each item to make sure it is the appropriate quality, condition, and seasonality. You do not need to remove each item from the rack because it's going to take too much time. You want to get on the level of the item and just look particularly around the neckline for infant items to make sure there's no formula stains, making sure that all the buttons are in place and that the zippers work. And so a good rule of thumb is to be spending no more than 6 seconds per clothing item because we need to very quickly and efficiently scan all of the items so that we can continue on. Once you have determined that this particular area is good to go, then we're going to tape it off so the next clothing inspector knows that these items have been checked. As you're inspecting your items and you find things that do not meet our quality or condition standards, you're going to place them onto your clothing rack. So on the clothing rack, you have A through Z. Then you also have these yellow hanging tags that say out of season or questionable. So if you're just not sure whether or not this is the appropriate season, we don't want you to spend a lot of time trying to make that decision on your own. Place it between the 2 yellow signs and the team leader will make that call for you. Also on the racks, there's 2 red signs, and the red signs are for those tags that are marked donate. So for example, this item is marked donate, D with a circle around it. We have put the sticker on the back of the tag. That is where the sticker goes to indicate that this item was pulled, and circled the reason. This item was stained. In addition, this one would be out of season as well. It is marked donate, so I'm going to put it here. Then when it goes to the no thank you room, the person that coordinates that process knows that that item can automatically be donated. these items were also pulled. And so this particular item was also marked as stained, but this is not marked for donation. And so I'm going to look to the first letter, and that is the letter B. That means that belongs to a consignor with the letter B. And then I'm going to put it to the right of the letter B on my rolling rack. A couple of other examples of why things were pulled here. So these particular pants were pulled because they are stained. This sticker should go on the back of the tag rather than here, so please don't place it here. We don't ever want to put it on the front of the tag because that prohibits us from being able to scan the barcode. Also, if it's out of season, this consignor can bring that item back, so you don't want to ruin the tag because that causes more work for your fellow consignors. This particular item was pulled for misuse of a tagging gun. So tagging guns can cause damage if used improperly. This was tagged directly through the front of the clothing, which is going to leave a big hole. That is something that we don't want because the shopper will get home and be disappointed when they find that. This is the way that the tagging gun should be used. So if there is a size tag in the item, that is the ideal place for the tagging gun, so that does not cause any damage to this item. If there is no size tag or it's a heavier weight of fabric, you can go through one of the inseams on the side. For shirts, you can go through the armpit, and that will not leave any visible marks of the tagging gun as well. When this rack is completely filled or your shift is over, you'll take it to the ends of the clothing racks, give it to your team leader, and our runner will take it to the no thank you area for the items to be scanned. In the boys clothing area, we will also have signage to indicate what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And so again, you're looking for heavier weights of fabric. You're also looking for long sleeves and things your kids are going to wear between the months of September and April. For boys in particular, there are a few exceptions to the short sleeve rule. One is polo shirts, so not necessarily the brand polo, but the short sleeved collared shirts. If those are in darker colors for all sizes, we will accept them. We will also accept sports teams that play during the fall. So think about things like the Eagles, Penn State, the Steelers, football teams, and hockey teams as well, so Flyers. And all of those examples are indicated on the posters. So take a few minutes to review the posters before your shift begins. Also remember that you may ask your team leader if you have any questions whatsoever. If you're helping in the shoe inspection area, the process is very similar to clothing. We are looking at the condition of each pair of shoes. We're also making sure it's the appropriate season and size. We go up to size 5.5 for big kids, which is equivalent to size 7.5 for adults. So no adult shoes or adult styles. So in girls' shoes, that would include things like high heels, and in boys' shoes, that would be men's shoes. So let's take a few examples of specifically what you're looking for. So the shoes are going to be placed into bins by the consignor by appropriate size. You're going to pull each pair of shoes out of the bin, and then you're going to take a quick look at the interior of the shoes. You want to make sure that that looks good, and then the soles of the shoes, that there's not excessive dirt or wear and tear on the bottoms of the shoes, and then the toes. Those are the areas where we tend to see the most wear on shoes. Nobody buys really dirty or scuffed up shoes, so we do tend to be fairly picky when it comes to shoes. For the fall winter sale, this particular pair of shoes, it fits the quality standards. It looks really good. The soles of the shoes are good, the interior is good, and these are shoes that your kiddo would typically wear between the months of September and April. So this passes the seasonality test. We accept cleats and dance shoes at both the fall winter sale and spring summer sale. We do give a little bit more grace for both of those categories because the first time your child wears them, they tend to get a little bit scuffed up. But we don't want excessive dirt in the bottom of sports shoes. If you notice that and the consignor is still standing near the table, you can direct them to our supply table where they can take a magic eraser and just clean it up a bit. Here are examples of appropriate shoes. We often get questions about the color of shoes. So sneakers are accepted at both the fall, winter, and spring, summer sales as well. And white sneakers are okay. These particular sneakers would be fine, as would suede shoes. So if you have suede or snow boots are great for the winter sale. We accept rain boots, however, this particular pair of rain boots has been rejected because they are excessively worn. Slippers are another category that is appropriate for the fall winter sale. So we're looking at the slippers to make sure they're of good condition and quality. These are good, these are excessively worn. So this is something we would be unable to accept because of the bottom of the shoe. If you find a pair of shoes that is not acceptable, you will indicate why you're pulling it with one of the green stickers. And so you'll circle whether it's excessive wear, out of season, or is it an inappropriate size. Circle that, mark it on the back of the tag so that the consignor knows why their item was pulled. For our no thank you shoes, you'll look at the tag. This particular pair of shoes is marked donate. So the D has a blackened background with a circle around it, and I'm going to put that into the bin that says donate. If it's an item that is returned to consignor, you will look at the consignor number. This consignor starts with the letter R, so I'm going to put it into the bin that is marked N through Z. And those shoes will all be returned to the consignor at consignor pickup. As these bins fill, our runner will be taking the items to the no thank you area so that they can be scanned and either returned to consignor or donated to one of our charity partners. When you complete your shift, you're going to come back here to the team member table, and we ask that you complete a raffle ticket. That is to enter you into a drawing. We sincerely appreciate you. And once you check out here at the table, you are good to go.